Yeah. Oh,
Yo,
it's Thursday. It's nice and early. But welcome everybody to the Boxing Rush Hour Show live edition. I am one of your hosts, AG, and I am accompanied by Zachary Zungri Ochoa. Zach, what's the deal? Talk to the people while I post this thing on X because this is acting up.
nothing much. Crazy. Good weekend of boxing. Great weekend of boxing. Big time. We got a lot of stuff going on in boxing all over, from drama, promotional companies, legendary fighters coming back to, you know, to future fights. So I'm excited about that. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, listen, man, there's a lot of different things going on. And we're gonna get all up in there because there's some breaking news as well. So, um, but talk to us about there's been a whole lot of snow in New York, man. What's the deal with that?
Yo, I have no clue, man. That shit is crazy. It's just like out of nowhere, you think it's gonna be spring, you think it's gonna be nice weather, and then boom, snow.
Yo, I don't understand it. I don't understand it. Yeah, man, this thing, this is crazy. I mean, I can't complain. It's all right over here, man. But
I'm
yeah,
sure it
nah.
is all right over there, Abe. I'm sure it is.
Oh man, this is crazy. But let me see. Let me post this up here real quick. Shout out to everybody that always tunes in, that always shows us, that always shows us love. It's early in the morning. You have to excuse me. I'm still getting my first cup of coffee, trying to get it in, and just kind of going from there. But listen, I think we could just go straight into the breaking news, bro. Breaking news is that we have Connor Ben,
Hmm.
who just signed for that 1 year, $15 million. Um, he's going to be fighting Regis Prograis on April 11th on Netflix on the undercard of Tyson Fury versus Arslanbek Makhmudov. Um, First of all, him getting that dough, lot of dough. Um, Congratulations on him for that. Um, one fight deal, very smart because according to Chris Mannix, they wanted to lock him in like long term, but he said one term deal. Without really knowing intimately, I have to believe that Connor was on some prove it. It's a prove it deal, right? Like, how do you handle me? How does everything go down with me with this new company that is on their about to be on their fourth event, right? And so, um, seeing that, he's probably like, "Yo, prove it. Let me see what you guys got." But shit, right off the gate, he fighting Regis. Regis, a little bit past his prime. Um, I don't know if that's a $15 million fight, but I guess the eyes that Conor Ben will bring will make it worth that. Two UK guys, Fury, and now Conor Ben. Um, I think that makes for a pretty good combo. With this news coming up, what do you think of Conor Ben signing with Zuffa? Let's talk about I mean, I know we talked about the loyalty last time, but um, you know, talk to me still about the loyalty to Eddie, if any, and you know what what do you think about this fight? Even though we're talking about a Regis that's a little bit past his prime, and it's going to be at 147.
I think it's gonna be a great fight. To be honest, I think it's gonna be a good fight. It's gonna be a violent fight. Um, I like the using the word violent fights. There's comparisons like Conor Ben, Regis Prograis, violent fight. Boots versus Virgil Ortiz, violent fights. These are real aggressive contact fighting guys that they never come out of the ring looking clean. They either come out looking messed up or the other guy comes out looking messed up, or both of them. As far as like the promotion side, when it comes to Conor Ben and Eddie Hearn, I think there's still business to be done when it comes to Eddie Hearn and Conor Ben. There's no way they're gonna stop their business with each other right now. Things happen, and especially in the heat of the moment, things happen and everything like that. and I think they'll still do some type of business in the future. Who knows? But a one fight deal, I think it's cool. Test the water, see what's going on over there. If it's worth your while, as to Conor Ben, if it's worth his while. But it might even be Regis Prograis wild if it works out in his favor if he wins the fight. You never know. It's a close fight. Regis Prograis is coming off of, a good win over Jojo Diaz. And Jojo, but the thing is this, Jojo Diaz is a natural 130, 135 pounder, but he's walked around heavy so he can get those bigger fights and stuff like that. But his power just doesn't translate, but he does have the skill and heart, Jojo. But Regis Prograis, he's been making 140 forever. Him to fight at 147, even though he might be a little past it, it can still be really good for him. Really good for him. And he's always in the gym, Regis, and he's one of those guys that he just loves to fight. He reminds me a lot about the way I think about things. He just likes to fight, but him and Conor Benn is fireworks. And underneath a Tyson Fury undercard, I think it's great because Tyson Fury can wind up, just making the night look very easy, even though he doesn't have an easy opponent in front of him. He can make the night easy, but it balances it out, as in there was a violent fight right before that. So it all makes it all around a good little card.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And listen, you know, we all know Regis ain't no punk. He gonna come in there to fight. You know what I
Yep.
mean? And Conor Ben is gonna be out there to try to prove that he's every bit worth of that $15 million, right? Um, so which I heard from Chris Mannix, where he reported that he got like four of it up front as like a bonus. Good money.
Very good money.
Real good money. So I do like this fight. Um, do you think that there's going to be a certain level of pressure on Ben to deliver, and that could potentially force him to fight maybe a little bit out of his comfort zone?
What do you mean by that? Like,
So like, you know, he has a certain aggressive style, but could the pressure of him being paid and it being a prove it deal, because it's on both ends, could it be that that forces him to maybe be a little too aggressive and leave himself vulnerable during the fight?
oh man, hey, you hit it right on the head. This is gonna be the first time Conor Ben has not headline, but headline as in like he's not gonna be headlining, but the thing is like this is his own shit, as in his own show. He doesn't have like another crazy superstar making it. He's slowly going into independence, as in becoming his own star independently, because he's only been able to do that with the right dance partner. But other than that, by himself, Conor Ben, I'm not sure if he can do that yet. Worldwide, we're talking about, not UK and all that stuff. Worldwide. So with Regis, this is a good one, a good fight for him, but it is a big test, to see if he's gonna like overfight, because some guys don't know. Like when it comes to you come to a certain moment, you overfight, missing shots, blasting. Regis, he's there to get hit. He can get hit and all that, but Regis is not a stupid fighter either. He can fight and he's smart. And if he can move out the way of something, he's gonna move out the way of it. And if he hits you, he has power, bro. And he's now moving up. So 147, he should have even more power. It depends if he can land it or not. You understand? When you're a little bit past it, that timing, you got to make sure your time is on point. But I know Regis has been in the gym, been working hard. You know how both guys are going to come out, especially Conor Ben, blazing. He's coming out blazing, shooting sharp, fast, everything. What I would recommend him to do is come out the way he came out versus versus Chris Eubank. Smart, jab, moving around, doing certain things. Maybe he would get away with it with Eubank because of the weight depletion, but I don't know if he can get away with it with Prograis. Prograis is a different type of guy. He knows how to cut the ring off. His hands down are a little bit, sometimes, but I just can't wait to see the fight, bro. Because the fight is not going the distance, and if it does go the distance, it can be a really crazy fight. like the
Yeah.
fight of the year type of shit.
Yeah, and listen, I think that fight boosts up the numbers even more, right?
Big time.
They were anticipating big numbers with Fury and Makhmudov, and now with Conor Ben, you have to believe that the UK numbers now, boost up for that fight. And look, predictable, right? As far as Makhmudov, they already started rolling out the footage of him fighting a bear. And I'm just like, yo, this is not new, bro. Like, he been doing this, but okay, for everybody that's just coming to the party right now,
You know,
yes, he wrestles bears. The dude is an animal for sure. So, anyway, we should, it's gonna be a good fight. Good, excuse me. It's rounding out to be a good card. So, let's see what happens. In the other news, Katie Taylor, she announced that her next fight is gonna be her last fight, and she's trying to do it in Ireland.
mm,
Um,
mm.
I think this is good. I mean, she has nothing else to prove. But what do you think about fighters that do this, that announce a retirement kind of before their fight? Like, do you feel like that takes a little bit of the edge from like training camp?
Oh man, that's you got a great point. A lot of guys have done that. Terence Crawford has done that. A lot of different kind of guys have done it, but like I don't know, man. I feel like for Katie Taylor, it would be much more different because it'll take away. Sometimes it takes away the hunger in training camp and everything. But for Katie Taylor, the way type of person she is in fights, I feel like it's gonna make her go even crazy and harder to go out with a bang, especially in Ireland. You can chop off both of Katie Taylor's arms and she's gonna figure out and try to find a way to win in a boxing match. Like she's gonna try to figure it out, But I definitely get what you're saying, but I think her announcing that is just gonna boost the numbers even crazier and boost up her motivation for when she's in camp. So I believe that. It's just who is she gonna fight?
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna be. It can't be anybody like super competitive because I think it might take away from it, right? But it has to be somebody at least decent, you know, to where
Oh,
they
she
could
might
they
fight a
could
girl
push the
named
man.
Shauna Brown from Ireland.
Mm. I mean, listen, whatever the situation is, it's gonna be a movie over there, like for her last thing. Um, Maybe not the same comparison or maybe the same levels, but I would say that I would probably compare it to like John Cena's last match, in DC. Like it's gonna be
You're
that,
such a wrestling guy. You're such
but it's gonna be that type of energy in Ireland. Like, yo, she is everything in Ireland. You know what I mean? Like she can't go to the grocery store without being mobbed from people. That's why she lives in like Connecticut or Rhode Island or something. You know what
wow,
I mean?
wow.
Yeah, like she lives there, like because she can't. You know what I mean? She can't be on some regular shit over there. But in Connecticut, they're like, oh yeah, oh what's up? Like who's this girl? Like
Yeah, but that's
you
a
know what I
good point.
mean? So she could live and not be bothered. All right. Frank Warren, he's suing Turkey for $1 billion. A
A
billion
billion.
dollars.
A billion.
Bro, he's saying breach of contract and um they haven't been working together since November. I think this whole thing came up because of the Fury fight. There's been a lot of talk that Warren was cut out of that. Um, I don't know. I mean, we started already seeing, Turkey cutting it back on the budget. What I didn't like was this. That went out. That was put out there about the Telegraph, which is a news outlet. Instead of them using or putting out a statement, a well-crafted statement by a lawyer, whatever, they decided to use the Ring Magazine account to fire off a reply.
Hmm.
And this is where I had a little bit of a problem with because you're using a media outlet
Supposed to be
to,
neutral bias. Neutrally biased.
yeah, it was supposed to be mutually biased, unbiased, to do this. Now I'm going to read real quickly what they put. Rumors are circulating in the boxing world that Queensberry is in financial trouble without a continued business relationship with Sella and TKO. Boom, throwing them on the bus right away. The loss of those relationships has influenced Queensberry's threat to sue Sella and TKO.
Wow.
Rumors rumors indicate that their announcement to the media of legal action was timed before their War versus Dubois press conference, which took place today for an event which is struggling to sell tickets. Now, tickets were just went on sale yesterday, so I don't know what that was about. Queensberry have not been promoting any Riyadh season fight since last November, and there are no plans for the two sides to work together in the future. There has been intensified concern among the stable within Queensberry when it was learned that they were not being used as a promotional entity for Tyson Fury's big UK comeback in April. This concern has led to a scenario where a number of their fighters are seeking other promoters. Turkey Al Sheikh and Sella were made aware that the rumors of litigation were leaked from Queensberry and that this has created an unrepairable rift due to Queensberry's cordial communications in the open and being volatile behind the scenes.
Wow.
You hear that, what's the first thing that comes to mind?
Wow. Um, Guys not knowing if they're gonna be active or not. And then partnerships, as in, is the grass greener on the other side? Is it? Is it really greener or is it not greener? Or does everybody have their own grass and can have their own grass? You understand? A lot of these, the thing is this, people can debate about certain things and argue and have their thing, but when lawsuits start coming, it's a little bit different. That means something really triggered to happen, because you don't just do lawsuits for no reason. Something really probably happened. We just don't know, but proof is always in the pudding. It's just, when you say Queensberry, I just looked it up. You got the fighters, okay? You got Tyson Fury, you got Warley, you got Dubois, you got all these guys, Parker, and then you got look at this guy. Look, you got Anthony Yard, you got a bunch of guys here that are really got Nick Ball, but a lot of guys, and you want them to be active. You want to see if they're going to get shows, if they're going to be making good money, if the promises are kept, them fighting and keeping these guys active, man. They got a really good roster on their hands. They even got, look, Brandon Lee there. There's a lot of different guys. The guy Herrera from lightweight. So Sam Noakes. So I don't know, man. But I think this is a little bit deeper than just fights. It has to do with that chara. If you don't know what chara is, it's called this. And if you don't know what this is, it's called this. What do you think is happening? I don't know. What do you think about this, Abe?
Yeah, I think that this was like strategic in by Turkey and them, but also like shame on maybe Frank Warren for, as they say, sleeping behind the wheel, thinking everything is all good, you know what I mean? And not really checking on things and letting things maybe happen that shouldn't have happened. Like once Turkey started like dealing with fighters directly, I think that should have been the warning sign to these promoters, like, yo, because then at that moment, well, I don't need a promoter. I could just I could just deal directly with the fighter. Oh, I'm gonna put paperwork on him and make him a ring ambassador. And now I can, you know what I mean? And so strategic, man. They just got caught sleeping behind the wheel, and now they have to deal with it and see what happens.
Yeah, it's really strange, man. You wish everything would be like a well-oiled machine when it comes to this boxing stuff, but like it's not,
It's
because
messy.
things have changed drastically. Got a big player coming in Turkey. You got the ring scene going from as a publicist, as a reporting type of thing or ranking, to actually like promoting fight. Like it's almost like it's everything is almost like a contradiction. You understand? There's managers that are promoters, there are promoters that are managers, there's boxing reporting websites that became like promoting websites, like I don't know. It's a lot of crazy stuff going on, but that goes to show you everybody's trying to dip and dab in the same pot of getting that money. Same pop. But what is it about? It's about boxing. That's it. It's all about boxing.
Yeah. What did Jay Z say about crabs in a barrel? I'm just saying. I'm just saying. All right.
Grand opening, grand closing.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Um. March 21st in Florida, they rescheduled Carlos Adames versus Ammo Williams. So if you guys don't recall, Adames got sick. They had to pull out of the fight, but now they got that rescheduled. So that's happening. Um, so good for that. Let's talk about this past weekend. Ryan Garcia, Mario Barros. But before that, let's talk about Africa. Richardson Hitchens, IBF Junior Welterweight Champion, made the first weigh-in, made the second day weigh-in in the morning, then got sick, had to pull out of the fight, leaving Duarte, without a fight. Now, because it was a voluntary defense and the clock has ran out on the time period that he needed to do that, the IBF has ordered Hitchens to fight Lindolfo Delgado next, which is his mandatory. Now,
Wow.
although I may not agree with that, I would at least say that the IBF does stand by their rules for the most part, and that is a rule that they have. Don't like it. I'm going to talk to Duarte in about an hour about it, but what do you think? How does where is Richardson Hitchens in regards to in the eye of the public? Like, what are you getting that people are? How are people seeing Hitchens now, considering everything that happened?
I mean, there's a lot of people, there's a lot of people saying, oh, that, Africa's was scared, nervous energy, all that type of shit, everything, you know what I'm saying? People making fun of him, everybody. And then there's some people like, that are just like, yo, you never know what happens. You're not there. And it's a little bit of both. It's everything. But the thing is this, they're talking though. They talking. That means that they're talking. That means they really wanted to see him fight. That means they was looking forward to seeing him fight. And if they're not talking, and guess what? That's bad. But they are talking, which is good. But at the end of the day, when you weigh in, have second day weigh in, all that type of stuff, if you get sick or anything like that, I'm not sure. I don't want to say I'm not him, but sometimes you got to fight through that shit. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do. You know what I'm saying? I'm not in his shoes. And a lot of people say, oh, Africa don't got hard. This is that. I mean, I highly doubt that. Highly doubt that. You know what I'm saying? But hey, you never know. Some guys, if Keyshawn Davis, he didn't want to fight. He didn't want to fight this dude. What's his name?
I know who you're talking about. I know the name is not coming to me.
Oh my gosh, what's this dude? He fought Shakur. Anyway, he didn't want to fight him. Pulled out something, made an excuse. A lot of things happen. You never know, but it can be damaging to your career. And Africa is the type of kid that he can't afford to be damaged when it comes to his career. You understand? The reason why is this: if Richardson Hitchens doesn't have a belt, nobody will fight him. He's not going to get any fights. The reason why he's not going to get any fights is because they're gonna say super big risk, no reward, because he could fight his ass off. Africa is nice. He could fight his ass off, but guess what? You get no reward fighting him because he's not like a global superstar. You understand? He's not super huge. He became world champion, but he's not a super huge superstar. You understand? He's not the craziest draw, but he can fight his ass off. So that's gonna be hard. That was like before, earlier, years ago. If Devin didn't have a title, what was really like his leverage there? You understand? But what African can do is this: if he has to fight this guy, fuck him up, blast him. It's not gonna be an easy fight. It's funny because it's like they're trying to make him fight everybody from
Robert Garcia.
Can't you understand? And Robert Garcia's on their ass. They're like, "Yo, we're gonna get a shot either way." But after he just gotta fight it out, get back into the gym, do what he has to do. And if he's gonna take this fight, which most likely he's gonna have to, you gotta win in impressive fashion and talk that shit afterwards. Afterwards, not before, afterwards, because now people just want to look at you and say, "Hey, We want to see action, not words. You understand? But Duarte, you got to feel for Duarte. The reason why you have to feel for him is because, man, you don't know when he's going to get another title shot. He's not a guy people are reaching out there to try and go fight. You understand? Why would you even want to fight him? He's not the craziest drawer. He punches hard. Why would you want to fight this guy?
He's built like a tank.
Yeah, and he's not a mandatory. So you got to feel for him. This was his not once in a lifetime because he could come back again, but that shot he had to become a world champion. Shot. Not saying he was going to become a world champion, but a shot. You got to feel for him. Hopefully, his team took care of him and maybe paid him in some way because these fighters got to make money. But I don't know, man. I don't know. It's just sticky, but everybody has their own views with it. How I view it is boxing. You never know you're gonna fight until you're in the fucking ring. I'm serious. I've been gloved up before. Fight canceled.
Yeah, you can't count that money until the bell says ding ding.
Yes. I think what you don't buy.
Yeah. All right. Listen. So the main event was Ryan Garcia versus Mario Barrios. Now, we were talking offline before the fight, and I had mentioned to you, I said, listen, the way Ryan looked in his shape was different than last couple fights. He was really in shape for this one. On the opposite, when I saw Barrios, he didn't look like he was what he was when he fought Pacquiao. A lot of softness in that. And then the fight came, and Garcia again. This is another fight where he surprises his opponent seconds into the fight. He knocks down Barrios, and I don't care what Barrios said about we were anticipating his right hand. Bullshit. Because when he got hit, when you zoom into his face, he had to look like, what the fuck just hit me? But Zach, talk to me what you thought about the fight before the bell, and then when that first knockdown happened, what were your immediate thoughts?
Yo, I'm gonna be honest, man. I'm gonna be straight up. Yo, Paulie Malignaggi even said it, man. Yo, Barrios, man. I'm telling you, the reason why is this. Every time he's made it to the top, and you gotta respect him, world champion, everything. Absolutely, he's done things a lot of fighters wish they can do. But guess what? He doesn't turn it up a notch. He didn't do nothing in there. A lot of people didn't even think the fight was scripted because it. But guess what? That motherfucker Ryan Garcia came out sharp. Sharp. When I'm talking about sharp. He was on some shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? He was fainting. And he came out, he threw that right hand. It was perfect. I'm going to be honest. I told you before in the last show, if Garcia gets a first round knockout, I wouldn't be surprised. When he knocked him down, I was like, oh, let's go. I can't wait. But I thought he was going to finish him first round knockout, just blast through him. But no, I thought he was going to finish him in the fifth. But no, fight kept on. But guess what? It showed that Ryan Garcia does have a skill set. You know what I'm saying? He has proved us wrong. He even not proved me wrong, but I did say before he fades a little bit, and he does fade. Ryan Garcia does fade usually in his fights, but this fight he did not fade without his left hook. But guess what? He was throwing a jab. He was throwing a great right hand. But what most impressed me about Ryan Garcia this fight was his feet. His feet won him the fight, bro. I mean, I ain't gonna lie, man. A guy with zero legs could have probably beat Mario Barrios that night. I'm serious. He did nothing. He did absolutely nothing. That's why you got guys like Paulie Malignaggi, Austin De La Hoya, all these people going back into the gym. They're like, yo, if you fight a guy like that who's world champion, I could come back and just beat a dude like that easy. You understand? But let's not take away from the skills that Ryan Garcia put in. He put in some great skills, but it's almost the same measurement of when Rolly beat Ryan. when Rolly beat Ryan, everybody was saying, "Wow, we didn't know Rolly had this on skills. We didn't know he can box this much." Ryan just sucked that fight. Oh wow, Ryan Garcia does have skills. He does have skills and everything like that. But Barrios also just sucked that fight. You understand? So can they meet in the middle? I would like to see Rolly fight Ryan Garcia again. Why
Yeah.
not? I don't understand why we're not talking about that fight. But they want to do the Shakur, all that type of stuff, everything. Shakur is really good. If he could fight his ass off, will he have trouble with Ryan Garcia? Maybe, most likely. Who knows? He doesn't want to fight guys that are super tall or bigger than him. But we don't know if Shakur would take that fight or not. They guys just talking back and forth. They need it to get their buzz going, but it was a really impressive victory for Ryan Garcia. And guess what? The world is at his hands now
Yeah,
because
and
he had everything before. All he needed was a world title. He got a world title.
and I was also impressed by the movement of his upper half. Moving his body, his head, not staying in the straight line. But also he had hurt his hand like around the 8th round, I think his right hand. He had hurt it. And he worked through it. He's getting like x-rays done now and to see if he broke anything or whatever. But
He's good.
he had hurt it and he kept moving through it. And so yeah, I think I was impressed also because he followed what we were talking about. And I had said that, once he works the body of Barrios, that left hook would be available later in the fight. And that's exactly what happened because those arms started coming down. And then all of a sudden that left hook started coming in. Boom, boom, boom. Credit to Barrios. He just got a hell of a chin and he could take a punch. I think that the first round just caught him by surprise because he was not expecting it.
Yo, bro, when Ryan Garcia dropped him, I was like this. I was like, Barrios said like this. As soon as Ryan Garcia hit him, boom, Barrios was on the floor and said, I can't believe this shit. They lied to me. these niggas lied. They lied. They lied to me. What the fuck is this? They shut me up.
Yo, he got hit with a Mack truck.
It was hilarious. But I'm going to be honest, Ryan Garcia should have finished him, though. But if he hurt his hand, I understand that. But what I'm most impressed was his father giving him great instructions in the corner. Not once did his father say, "You gotta stop him, bro." His father said, "Keep on doing what you're doing. Use that jab. Be careful." And he was on. This is what you call them training together in the garage, all that shit. So when he had 0 follows, everything like that. He just needed his father, and I really like it. I like the chemistry that they got going on. That Ryan Garcia, depending on the test, we got to see what's going on with the testing and everything like that. If he's clean, that Ryan Garcia gives a lot of people issues, like problems. And he didn't look bulky. He looked strong, but he didn't look heavy. He didn't look sluggish. He looked on the money, on point. I doubt if he even rehydrated above 10 pounds that fight because he was on. He was really on. And if he tests negative, then that's going to be the world's craziest thing. But I highly doubt that.
Yeah.
The big future for Ryan right now.
Now I tell you, don't sleep that Henry Garcia has been there the whole time, so he's been able to learn from Derek James, from Eddie Reynoso, from Joe Goosen. Like it's not like his father wasn't part of that process. He was in the gym just watching, hearing, learning. And you don't think that he took all of those things and incorporated it into this thing? Of course he did.
Became a sponge. It became a sponge. What's funny is because it almost like the Ryan Garcia Oscar De La Hoya comparisons are a little crazy. They're good, but they're crazy because it's like Oscar De La Hoya had so many different trainers, but he was still great. That's how you know he was a really, really good fighter. And Ryan Garcia almost went through the same thing. It's just he didn't need them so much. He just needed just a little bit of things learned, and now he's got his dad there with him, So I'm really happy. I'm really happy about what I saw. And it's a big potential of what's to come for it. And I know the Oscars happy, everybody's happy. So I don't know, man.
Yeah. Now, after the fight, Shakur said, "Yo, fight me at 144." Ryan he came back and yesterday and said, "Nah, forget 144. I'll fight you at 140 for your belt." Now, I don't know if he can make 140 safely. He's saying that he can. Um, that would be interesting for him to fight at 140, but you know what? It would be a win-win for Ryan because if he goes to 140 and loses, he still keeps the belt at 147. And then people can't really knock him for it because they'll say, oh, he went and drained himself to make 140.
Listen to me. You hit it on the head. There's not. It's a win-win for him. And I'm gonna be straight up. Guess what? If he fights Shakur, no matter win or lose, guess what he has done? He has fought Shakur, Tank, and Devin. He just ain't fight Tiafimo. But guess what? He's fought almost all the guys the top guys that everybody talks about. You understand? So he's the guy that gets to say, yeah, I fought this guy like Miguel Cotto. He could say he fought almost everybody. You know what I'm saying? Saying that he didn't do the best, but he's fought almost everybody. The Pacquiaos, the Mayweathers, the Shane Mosleys, all of it. You
Canelo.
know? The Canelos. Oh shit, yeah, Canelos. Like, and you got to respect fighters that are able to do that and get in the ring like that. But obviously, past the drug testing part, it takes heart to do shit like that. So you gotta respect it.
And listen, and using that comparison you just did from a little while ago, Oscar did the same thing, bro. He fought all the top guys.
Yes, he did.
Win or lose, he fought them. So, I mean, it is what it is. Hey, listen, for everybody that's tuned into the live, you could join the conversation if you want, comment, throw a question. The link is on the YouTube comments section, pinned to the top. Just click it on there. You don't got to show your face if you don't want to. Also on there is a link to BetUS, where you can get all the latest betting odds for all sports. So you click the link in there and sign up for BetUS today. All right.
Yo, shout out to Nair Albright though, bringing that fight with him and Frank Martin. That was a good close fight, man. But damn, I ain't gonna front. I think Albright won that fight. He had Frank Martin hurt much more in the fight. It was, I don't know. And then who was it? Andy versus Gary Russell.
Oh, yeah.
Really good fight. People
I'm
get a lot of opportunities.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Antoine Russell. It was a lot harder than what people might have seen with the scorecards. But credits to those guys. Those were some really good fights on that card. All right, listen, they announced the big one: Floyd Mayweather Jr. versus Manny Pacquiao 2 at the Sphere in September on Netflix. What are we thinking about this fight?
Money.
Floyd just turned 49. Manny's 47. This is what, 11 years, I think, after their last one. They're much older now. Will that make for a better fight? I don't know. But on the surface, like the super early preview, how do you think, like, what do you think about this fight? Does it do big numbers? Does it do, 50 million, 75 million live viewers? Like, what are your thoughts on this whole thing?
Yo, I think the event, I didn't say fight, the event, remember the event is going to be crazy. Great. The fight is going to do crazy numbers, obviously. Crazy pay-per-view, crazy attendance, crazy ticket sales. The fight itself is going to suck. I'm talking about it is going to suck bad. Floyd versus Manny Pacquiao at this age, it is going to be trash. I'm telling you right now, it's going to be. And I ain't trying to put these guys are legends, but we seen it all. We seen it all with these guys that are super past the hill. Roy Jones versus Tyson. This fight is going to be so terrible. Just go to have fun with the people, the fans, the celebrities, all that shit. Make the undercards crazy, because this fight is going to be one of the most boring fights ever. Because guess what? Obviously, Floyd's going to win, but this is going to be the most slow motion fight of all time.
Yeah. Now, let me tell you, I did speak to the CEO of Manny Pacquiao Promotions yesterday, and I'm going to put a story on fightsatw.com later today. And he did mention that they're going to be working together to Pacquiao and Mayweather to put undercards for their guys. So would not he said don't be surprised if you see Kermel Moton on that card, if you see Pacquiao Jr. on that card as well. So they're trying to make the undercard like built around rising stars.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay, well, let me take back what I said. I think that it's going to be good for their fighters to give them spotlight crazy, especially if Carmel can fight on there. He should. And Pacquiao's son, but I think it's going to be the undercard is going to be just focused just like on those guys then, because I was thinking maybe a crazy undercard or something, but you're right. And they can afford to give to put a crazy undercard with like superstars, because all the money is going to Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao. You got to understand that shit immediately. But one thing to be worried about, Pacquiao has been more active than Floyd.
Hmm.
Guess what? Be very careful. Be very careful. That counts as everything. Well, because you beat the guy easy the first time. Well, not really easy. It was a good fight, but hey, Pacquiao, he was active and he went in there with Mario Barrios and everything. But not to get off subject, what goes to show everybody is this is how great Javante Tank Davis is. He beat Barrios. He knocked out Garcia. You understand? Guys that everybody's getting, Pacquiao, he went to this one was Pacquiao. He fought Ryan Garcia, beat him. Ryan Garcia's on top of the world. Everything is almost in mutual with Tank Davis. But right now he's nowhere to be found. But it's like that's how you know he's a star, bro. Because everybody that he's fighting or beat or anything like that, they automatically get big promotion, big publicity, and everything like that. So I would love to see that guy back, whatever he's dealing with. But for this fight, for this event, Pacquiao versus Floyd Mayweather, the stars is in the building. The money is coming in. Pay your taxes, guys. Pay your taxes. Floyd, you got 1 million cars. You don't need no more cars. Pacquiao, you gave the Philippines $1 billion. You don't need to give them no more billion. Save your money, everybody, because this is going to be a big fight. It's going to be a big fight. And the best part about it is everyone's going to be there. Everybody, from the Jake Paul, from the Turkeys, from this, everybody's going to be there. It's going to be a great night to have fun. And if you're one of those fighters on the undercard, you better show out, because you might have some celebrities there watching you that will just put you on their story and all that good shit. So
Yeah.
be ready.
Yeah. And shout out to my people's CC. She said people forget all the lawsuits after Maypac won. Folks were very unhappy with the quality of that fight. And she reports, she works out of Las Vegas. She works out there, and covers boxing, UFC, the Raiders, and she basically does it all, juggles it all. So shout out to her. But yeah, she's right. There was a lot of that going on. But I will also say this, and I don't know how true this is, but like Vegas took in, I think they said $1 billion that weekend. That weekend. $1 billion that weekend. So look, man, it's gonna be something, bro. It's gonna be something. Quickly, the Jayo Pataya, right? He's fighting in March 8th on a Sunday, for the inaugural Zuffa boxing title. Now he is the IBF and Ring Magazine champion. Okay, they haven't said so. Where we at with this is that Dana White has made comments saying, okay, we're not messing with the sanctioning bodies. I'm paraphrasing, right? But then he kind of took it back a little bit. He's like, well, we're gonna let our fighters do what they want to do, kind of thing, and within a certain parameter, I guess. But now you have Opataya with this IBF title. And I reached out to the IBF and I was like, hey, listen, what are we doing here? Is Zuffa gonna show your belt and and say that he's the IBF champion on the broadcast? Are you gonna have your inspector in the ring when they bring the fighters out? Like, what's gonna kind of happen? So the IBF came back and told me that they're still talking about it. They're not ready to make a public statement at this time.
Okay.
So a couple things are this can go a couple different ways. One, Zuffa can like really kind of backtrack a little bit on their comments and show the IBF belt and say that he's the IBF champion on the telecast, which will soften a little bit of that hard stance Dana White has put. Or they don't show it, they don't talk about it, they don't recognize it, and the IBF kind of just is okay with it and just rolls with it.
Wait.
Hold on. So that's the second one. And then the third one can be that happens and the IBF is like, nah, we're not messing with that. We're gonna strip him from the title. Couple of different scenarios that this thing can play out.
No.
I don't know which way this one's going, but if you had to guess, what direction do you think this one is going to head to?
Oh man,
with this?
I don't see them. I don't see them stripping the fighter. I don't, because it's not up to him. He loves his belt. It's up to the team and what's going on. We don't know. I got two scenarios just like you did, and I'm gonna say them the way I'm gonna reenact them out the way you said. Just the subject. Okay. They show his belt, everything. They just don't say IBF. They say world champion. They can do it like that, or they don't show the belt. They just call him the world champion. That's what I think. You understand? Or the second one is IBF world champion. And then they stop their shit and say, you know what? Fuck it. Let's start doing business with these sanctioning bodies. Or it might be certain sanctioning bodies. It might be favoritism with certain sanctioning bodies. You understand? You understand? Let's
So
put the IBF and WBO. I mean, and not not everybody, these other guys. I'm serious, bro. Don't get it twisted. Why do you think certain countries have more certain sanctioning body belts than other countries, or certain? You got to really look at these things. You understand? So I don't know.
interesting.
There's favoritism everywhere. I don't give a fuck what it is, bro. These guys are gonna put whoever they like the most, whatever company they're gonna do business with. There's favoritism everywhere, man. And don't be surprised if you see that. If you hear them say IBF, oh shit, the also we can probably go, no, we said IBF. We're not trying to do this, all that type of stuff. What I would like if they said we're doing, I would like two things. We are doing business. Yeah, it ain't happening. Yeah, I would like this. This is what I would like from either these two things. They say, "Fuck it, we're doing business with all sanctioning bodies," which is awesome because guess what? That shows love to everybody. That's it. They're just a promotional company. And then the opposite is I would like as well. Don't do business with no sanctioning bodies. Then make your own fighters, build your own fighters. Stop taking these guys and see what happens with your belt. Let's see if we can get up there. I don't know. Who knows? All I know is we know who are the sacred belts are. Ring, WBO, WBA, WBC, IBF. It's plain and simple.
And you know what? And I also asked the IBF. I was like, so if he's gonna be fighting for the Zuffa title, are you guys gonna recognize that as a like a major world title where it's considered a unification? Or or hold on, or if it's just gonna be an IBF title, then then that means there's a second day rehydration clause to go to 214 pounds.
Oh shit, that's a lot of logistics, bro. That's a lot of logistics. Hey, listen, yo, sports news, they even said they ain't trying to, but listen, look, yo, it is not a unification bout, bro. You can't
I'm
tell me
just
that.
saying, like, but you gotta.
But, oh man, checks got to be thrown.
But
Checks got to be thrown.
but this is what I'm saying. Like that stuff, all that stuff needs to be worked out.
It matters.
All that stuff needs work.
You just
But
messed
let's
up my brain with the whole second day weigh-in thing and everything for an IBF. But does the other fighter get the IBF belt if he wins?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's a lot of questions that need to be answered now. Let me catch up with Cece here. She says Dana's not working with them sanctioning bodies. He said it multiple times. It ain't happening. Yeah, he did. And then Jo Pataya, man, but he's out there saying, that he wants to fight for the other belts and that he doesn't really know like the stuff that's going on behind the scenes. So I think there's a little bit of confusion there. Let me see what else she said here. Turkey's pushing the ring belt above all. Yeah, I don't disagree
Oh
with
yeah,
that.
don't forget that. Don't forget that. Yeah, don't forget.
And then Abe, you wild. Yeah, I mean, but this is the truth. Like, all these things have to be answered because I think that they're the little details that can matter in this whole situation. Um, so I'm just really interested. Zufa, I reached out to Zufa and they they're not commenting on the situation at this time, but I think that look, March 8th is in what? Is in another week or 10 days? Some details need to be worked out. And it'll be interesting to see how this plays out on Fight Night. All right, listen, real quick, Zerto and Benavidez announced Cinco de Mayo weekend. Tickets on sale, T-Mobile Arena. That's gonna be crazy.
Oh yeah.
Yo, but the biggest of the big dogs, Lukey. What's the deal? Talk to me, buddy.
Just enjoying the show, supporting, and I was doing work and
Going
got my
on,
work gloves on, and I thought I'd jump on for 10 minutes.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. What's good, Lukey? Talk to us. What do you want to comment on?
I just like listening to you and Zachary, man. And I wanted to tell Zachary how proud I am that he's going from being a fighter to giving good analysis. And
Thank
great
you.
to see that.
Thank you, man.
Abe, you do a great job. I don't have great opinions. Everything you guys say pretty much is what I think. Like all real boxing people think similar,
Yo, let me ask you this, Lukey. Let's talk really about Saturday's fight. I actually want to, go a little bit not the commercial one, but one that maybe people might not be tuned into unless you like the hardest of hardcores. Elijah Pierce versus Lorenzo Parra. It's a WBO international title, whatever, but it's an eliminator basically for Rafa Espinosa's title. What's your thoughts on this fight? And why do you think that people should be tuning into this if they don't know about it?
My first thought is I'm noticing I have a lazy eye. Like I'm looking here and I'm like, man, is that from scar tissue? Like, I mean, look, Elijah Pierce is one of these guys, took a couple of losses. He beat my guy Tremaine Williams on a club show. OTX Boxing rebuilt his career. And I think that there's questions around his talent ceiling, right? Because it's like he does a lot of pageantry at weigh-ins, gives people like McDonald's meals, and there's like a lot of like over the top antics. And I think that maybe I'm an old school guy, but you kind of wonder if there's nerves cooked into that, right? When guys do a lot of that stuff, you wonder, is this like a Conor McGregor special guy that talks himself up, or is this a guy that, is he nervous? And Parra's coming off a draw with Omar Trinidad, really strong physical guy. So it's just like, it's a step your game up fight. It's step your game up. I think you pay a little bit to see it. So you pay to see a step your game up fight, and the winner will fight someone important.
Yeah, I mean, and what Lukey said, it's 1995, it's pay-per-view. Don't really agree with that being on pay-per-view. I feel like that limits the amount of people that can watch it, but this is where we are with it. Carmel's fighting on the undercard. Pacquiao Jr. is fighting on the undercard. Is going to be at the Turning Stone in New York. Any thoughts on Carmel and Pacquiao being on this card?
I mean, fingers crossed. Probably everyone in the promotion, they do what they're supposed to and get to that sphere fight. Yeah. And you'd expect Carmel would fight a sexy name, maybe an older veteran, maybe a 130, 35. And Pacquiao, I mean, he had that draw in his first fight. Shoot, you gotta every fight you gotta take it. It's a fight by fight. You know, when you get those jobs that are work by work, you know, he's fight by fight right now. So we got to just see how he looks this fight. Got to make sure no one breaks a hand, no one gets cut, you know.
And they both got, remember the main event, they both got the same amount of knockouts. So don't sleep on that. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, listen, I think it's a good fight. Are any of them ready for Rafael Espinoza? I guess we'll see. I mean, you know, there's a lot at stake with this main event. You know, maybe they step it up a little bit more than what they have in the past because of it. So
it'll be interesting. To that? Let me go on a monologue here and just overtake your show like a selfish prick. The point of this is it's not like if you're ready for it. Sometimes like young fighters, like or middle-aged fighters or whatever, they put themselves in positions to fight champions, and it's not about if they're ready. It's like that's the greatness component. Was Kelly Pavlik ready to fight Jermaine Taylor? Who knows? But that's where the great moment comes. So I'm a firm believer that if a guy earns his shot, they should get the fight, because that's when greatness happens. Did Chris Algieri, in theory, earn a Ruslan Provodnikov fight? No, but that was one of the greatest fights I ever saw because of the courage he showed, and the fight started so bad. So not to poo-poo on you, but I don't think that we need to talk about earning or if they're ready. Fighters deserve, especially when they put 10 or 20 years, if you get a big win, you deserve the moment to find out if you're at that level, because sometimes special-ish happens at the highest level of the sport.
That's right. I like that. That's right.
Yeah. No, I don't disagree with that. I think that more, I was looking at it more so of given where they were in their last couple performances and seeing what's at stake, you know, them rising to the occasion on Saturday because of it. And not saying that they're going to look as great or, you know, notches above, but that they're going to at least level up a little so that you're looking forward to that next fight, which is the title fight.
So this is my first take. I'm going to go the opposite way of like whatever. I think they're gonna be nervous, kind of. I think there's so much on the line. It's gonna be the second half of the fight could be really exciting, but I think like Zachary brought up, they both have power and there's a lot on the line, and it's gonna be a long journey potentially back to this point, like a fight of this magnitude. So I would be really surprised if they start out in an exciting fashion, because I think there's so much risk on the line. And I think the neat, like, I don't know if you guys, I didn't catch the Zuffa boxing. The good thing about Zuffa boxing, well, a lot of things, right? There's a lot of things going on in boxing, but a positive is they're putting on fights where in theory, maybe a loss doesn't kill you. And the good thing about boxing as a whole, that kind of counters Zuffa where people are scared of the thing, is there's always someone willing to overpay a fighter, right? So like boxing to this point has always had an equitable marketplace for superstars, because someone will always overpay a Canelo or always overpay a Gervonta or a Ryan Garcia because they want to put on those compelling fights. Maybe Zuffa can push back on the concept that we need undefeated fighters. Maybe we can get more guys who are Quentin Randalls or good veterans can be viewed as just that, good veterans who could be in a title fight. So I'm hoping that we see a little bit of that. And to say that is, Pierce is a guy with a loss or two. Parra, I think, has had some ups and downs, and they're getting to the point of a title. And hopefully this can be normalized, that you don't need shiny records and honestly, like neat, compelling background videos. You can just be a good fighter who's had a good career, who maybe lost a fight or two and get in a title fight.
That's right. I like that. And then I like Parra in this fight because like he has a little bit more rounds than Pierce. I noticed, and that he's been the distance with some really good guys, and he's beat some really good talented guys. There's a guy named, hold on, let me see. Yeah, Javon Woodard. I know who he is. He can fight his ass off. So and Elijah Pierce, he has almost the same style as him. So I don't know. It's going to be a good step up for both of these guys, but really more of a step up for Elijah Pierce, to be honest. Yeah.
And let me add to that. So, just a selfish, entitled person, I interviewed Pierce, and they're actually friends. So he's friends with Woodard. So there's like, I wouldn't say animosity, but he wants a little get back for his buddy. He knows that, and there's some things. I think that the best fights are two flawed fighters, and the guys take it. That's why I think I'm excited about Navarrete Nunes, is they're both flawed, right? But you're hoping that their flaws make for a great fight. You're hoping that like Nunes is a little stiff, doesn't move his feet. Navarrete moves his feet too much. You're hoping that like that can lead to an action fight. Pierce is a dynamic, maybe excessive mover with power. And then you have Para, who's more maybe flat-footed, but it's pressure, and more pressure. This could lead to a really good action fight. I sound like I'm a pay-per-view spokesman.
He's chilling.
Nah, I tell you, that's a great segue to the last topic here, which is Emmanuel Navarrete versus Eduardo Sugar Nunes. That's going to be on the Zone on Saturday. Before we even get to that, the real question for me is Navarrete going to make weight? Because he has been struggling.
Oh man,
he's struggling to make 135. Like, is he going to be able to make 130? I'm still trying to figure this out in my head. Like, I'm not so sure we can get to Saturday before making sure that we get through Friday. What are you hearing, Lukey, about Navarrete and his struggles?
Nothing. I mean, I'm not that much of an insider. I haven't heard a thing. I will say that I hope we get to Saturday, because Navarrete is someone that I don't understand how he's so good. For like the past 3 or 4 years, I assumed he'd lose every consequential fight. I assumed he'd lose to Valdez. It's just the thing with him. Like, I thought Ruben Villa would beat him. He must just hit freakishly hard, right? That's like the only thing that makes sense, because everything about him doesn't make sense. There's like not a real fundamental thing, but it just seems like he's one of those guys. I compare him to Alexander Povetkin. Povetkin never jumped off, and maybe I'm not that smart at boxing, right? And I talk fast and all that stuff, but maybe I don't know that much. But like, Povetkin never was like this amazing fighter to me. But my buddy sparred him and said, "Oh my God, you get in there with him and you think you're in there with Muhammad Ali. It looks completely different, right?" And I think with Navarrete, whether it's the power or not, when you're in there with him, something about how he fights doesn't translate to when you're outside. So there's something that's like the timing, the rhythm, the speed, the awkward shots, the power. And then Nunes was like the boogeyman until like a couple of months ago. And then, he's this avoided guy, but he's more flat-footed. I guess I'll answer rudely with a question. Do you think Nunes has the power to break down Navarrete? Or, do you think that power is going to be a story in the fight? And then finally, do you think that Navarrete's potential dietary stuff that may or may not be helpful for a boxer, do you think that catches up with him? Like, because I think the story is Navarrete's diet and whether one of the guys' power can overtake the fight.
All right, so I'm going to talk about the diet, and I'm going to pass it over to Zach to talk about the power stuff. But for me, on the diet, you can only dip into the well but so many times. It's going to be a moment where you're going to dip into that well, and it's just not going to come out. You're not going to come out feeling the way you have in the past. I think that we might be at that moment, either this fight or the next, where he does these ridiculous weight cuts and then just doesn't look nearly what he has in the past. Those weight cuts, they're hard. They're hard. I've done it myself for a long time, trying to make sure that I've been in weight standards and all that, and according to height and all that for the military. And it's tough. It takes a lot out of you, and the older you get, it doesn't get any easier. So And I've seen Navarrete during fight week. He looked like if you pushed him, if you just pushed him with your finger, he probably fall over type of thing. So I don't know. I think that this fight might be the one that it might finally catch up to him. But Zach, tell us about your thoughts about the other part of Lukey's question.
Well, basically, what I think is Nunez. Everybody's Navarrete has power, but Navarrete doesn't just have power. He has fucking long ass arms for his weight class. That's why guys he's beating guys because of his power and his long arms. Very unconventional style, very unorthodox style where he's not just throwing a jab, hook right hand, jab. He'll hit you with a body shot with a right hook and then throw a right uppercut out of nowhere from and I'm talking about from a distance. He'll just and then walk into it and hit you and rock you. You understand? But a guy like Nunez, if he also hits hard, he has 27 knockouts. If he plays a disciplined fight, he can and goes to the body of Navarrete, which is going to bring that nutrition shit back into it, like you were talking about, Abe. He could hurt Navarrete, and he could probably stop him on body shots. Body shots alone will slow him down and have a great fight that goes the distance. But the thing is this, can Nunez hold up by getting cracked by Navarrete? That's the thing. If he can take that shot, because he's going to take a shot. But if he can take that shot or just like, maybe like dismantle his weapon, de-weaponize him by just moving around just a little bit and go to his body, jab, and then try to land a hard shot on Navarrete as well, he can win. He can really win. I'll be the guy to say Nunez can beat Navarrete, but how is he going to act under that firepower?
My thing is, and you could tell me this, Lukey, has any of Navarrete's recent opponents with power made a dedication to the body early on in the fight to where it wears down Navarrete late? Because I just don't remember that happening. And Nunez could be the guy that does that, and we can see a different outcome on the second half of the fight.
So I'm going to pretend I'm a college professor, which I'm not, and I'm going to reference Mr. Ochoa here. Well, now I'm going to sound like I'm in a court of law. And I'm not a boxer. I've never played boxer, etc. I've gotten beat up in sparring, but that's neither here nor there. But whenever I try to do body shots, it felt like there was a great chance I could get hit. Right? It's like you have to open yourself up unless I'm sure there's levels to this. You can think through it, set up shots, etc. But there is a level of you're open to get hit. And Navarrete hits really effing hard. And there is a huge risk because I think that the thing that Navarrete does besides hitting hard is you don't see where the punches are coming from. And they're unconventional punches. So when you're punching to the body, I think the scary thing, I shouldn't say scary because boxers aren't scared, but the thing you're concerned about is what if something's coming from somewhere weird? And I think guys don't go to Navarrete's body because they're like, what is happening? It feels like fighting an octopus or a squid. You're in there and things are coming from the ground and they're coming down and you can't you probably have. He's you get every now and then, and I'm stumbling over my words. You get these guys where you have camp, you spar, all this type of stuff. And then you get in there and you've never seen this style because there's only one guy that fights this way. There's only one guy that punches this hard and has these things. And you either figure it out or you don't. And I think that a lot of times guys get in the first 3 rounds, they're shell shocked at what's happening. Oh, shoot, this guy's hitting like a welterweight. Oh, God, the punches are really genuinely coming from spots that I don't understand. You know it, but then it doesn't happen. So, yeah, it would be great if he goes to the body. I just think that, you look at Navarrete, 7-year world champion, give or take. He's fighting some really great fighters. I'm sure someone game planned to go to his body. Pitufo Diaz, really good fighter. Oscar Valdez is an amazing fighter, fringe Hall of Famer. I think when you get in there, stuff just starts happening fast. It's like when a violent crime happens around you. You have a plan to get away, but then you're traumatized, right? And then you're like, what do I do? There's something, it's a wartime scenario. You have all these okay, this is what I'm supposed to do, but then you get a bomb goes off, and you're like, what do I do? My ears are ringing. I'm traumatized. What's this? And I think that's why people don't go to the body. That was a long-winded answer to basically say nothing.
No, 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 no. That was true, and I believe that. And like you said, it's no risk, no reward. You understand? And the thing is, I think Nunez, if he can hit Navarrete to where Navarrete actually respects his power, then he might have some opportunities to go to the body. And if he can go to the body, then he can sap out some of that crazy power that Navarrete has. But it's easier said than done.
Yeah, and so go ahead, Luke. I'm sorry.
I'm being a dick. It's your guys' show. I'm just like, let me just talk because I'm high off coffee. Conceição, I think, did a little bit of that. And if you remember, Conceição won every round he didn't get dropped in. So it's like the power is just a mofo with this guy. Like he's like a Deontay Wilder almost level puncher, but he doesn't have the one punch power because it's like there's nothing fundamental about him, but power gets him to being a 7-year champion.
Yeah. Yeah. And let's just see if he can beat the scale on Friday first. Real quick, before we wrap this up, if you can give me a prediction on Elijah Pierce, Lorenzo Parra, and Navarrete and Nunez. How do those two fights end? Lukey, please, first.
Darn, I was going to steal your guys' opinion. I'll go Elijah Pierce. I'll say it's like a unanimous 116, 112, or is it 10? If it's 10-round fight, then it's
10-round fight.
Yeah, 6-4, 7-3 type fight. And I'll say Navarrete gets the job done. You know what? Let's be interesting. I'll say Navarrete stops him in the 9th round.
Oh shit, that's good.
Let's just be interesting. Let's not do something that's reasonable. Let's just jump on the fence. Let's say something crazy. 9th round accumulation stoppage. Nunez is all cut up, and it shocks people.
Mm-hmm.
Zach,
I got Parra winning. I got Parra winning by unanimous decision against Elijah Pierce, even though he's good. And then I have Nunez pulling out the victory over Navarrete and becoming the big face now. In that weight class, big time. Yep.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with
Navarrete moves up after that, by the way.
What's that?
And then Navarrete moves back up after that, by the way.
I'm gonna go Elijah Pierce by decision. And I'm gonna say that Navarrete may not even make it to fight night.
Oh my gosh, let's not hope that. Come on,
I'm not hoping that.
Fight. Let's talk about fight. Okay,
what's his IG look like right now? Like, have you seen a photo of him lately?
No, I haven't. But
food.
I don't know. I have this feeling that Navarrete.
He's the king of the crash diet, man. He crashes like no other, and then he just he's on the scale looking really bad, and then he shows up and hits you hard.
Terence Crawford used to weigh in, and they used to walk him. He used to shake at the weigh-ins, and then the next day he was on. It's crazy. Yeah, at 135. Yep.
I'm looking at a photo of him right now from 22 hours ago, and he's doing an interview with Box Azteca. And I'll send it to you, Abe. I'll send it to you. He definitely looks older now. That's the one thing I can see. He's not like a young person anymore.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I don't know. I just have this feeling that he may not make it. He might not make it, but we'll see. We'll see. So
let's do a prop bet. You guys are like, let's get you a sponsor. So do you guys have a gambling sponsor?
Right now we're working with Bet US.
Okay, maybe they could do the Abe G the Boxing Rush Hour prop bet. If you were to do a prop bet, what would be the number he comes in at?
Initially 132.
Okay, on the dot.
Okay.
132. What you say?
Okay.
133.5. He misses it.
Well, I think if the fight's off, we have to go like 137, and it's like fight like the night before. You're hearing bad things, like he's in the gym at 1 a.m, and they put up towels so no one can look in, and you start hearing whispers that in the like. I don't know if he's 32. I feel like Nunez would still take the fight.
Let me take it back. he would be stripped of the title. They would still fight, but he wouldn't have the title.
Okay, because I thought you were going to go super wild card 132, and then day of, like, there's some emergency. You know,
Nah,
you get a
nah,
tweet and it's like he can't make it to fight night and stuff.
nah. I'm gonna roll back. I'm gonna say that the fight still happens, but he just doesn't have the title.
Okay, that's I'm not the biggest title guy. I want Boots and Virgil to fight for no title
Mm.
because I
100%.
think that, like, honestly, as weird as it sounds, sometimes we value titles over fights, and so I think that would be a big, like, statement just to be like, let's just make a good fight. And these are the two best guys. Boxing's goofy right now. Let's just make a good fight. You know, it's not like they're not going to get rich off the fight, and it's not like everyone doesn't respect them. So I don't really care. Not that I don't care about you guys, but I never am like, oh man, the belts. You know,
Yeah.
these guys like, there's got to be the belt, and it's like, whatever.
Yeah. All right. Listen, Lukey, I appreciate you. Lukey writes for Boxing Scene, and you can find his material there. He is also on YouTube. I think it's under Big Dog Lukey or Lucas Cattell, but definitely look for him. He has his show on Sundays, and he does his thing, and he has a Substack. He's doing a lot of stuff. So follow Lukey on X as well. Zach, I appreciate you coming on again and doing the show. We kind of did it last minute. I know I got to run to go do a Zoom with Oscar Duarte here in about 10 minutes, and then see what the deal is. But Zach, talk to the people. Where can they find you?
Find me at the Rush Hour Show whenever we come on, fightsatw.com. And look out for the podcast. He probably put it on TikTok, Abe, about with Duarte, because you want to find out what's going on behind the scenes of a guy who could have had a title shot and is not having a title shot now. So look out for that, guys.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. I appreciate y'all. Shout out to everybody that joined the live today. Enjoy the fights weekend. Enjoy the fights this weekend. And looks like boxing is on the uptick again. So we're definitely going to be getting some more fights here. So tune in and have a great weekend. So for us at the Boxing Rush Hour live show, peace.